Hello and welcome to a new episode of Ancestral Healing with Alida. Today I'm going to talk about fidelity, the principle of fidelity in the family system, or we can call it also a type of loyalty in the family system. And today when I'm going to be talking about fidelity, I'm going to start talking also how I use my tarot cards, especially this one. I use the Marseille from France, but I also support with different decks, but I like to use this one specifically. So how I know if I am repeating a cycle or if I'm being loyal to a member of my family system. I'm gonna give you an example. There was this girl, once she turned 16 years old, she couldn't have her periods, her menstruation anymore. At that time, she was living with her mother and the mother's husband at that time, because the mother remarried. Well, she went to a family constellation session, to a circle, the mother. And what happened with the mother was that when the little girl was 4 years old, her father died. And the mother promised the father that she will never get married. So the mother is telling to the husband who is dying at that moment, I will never get married. I'm going to take care of me, our daughter. When the mother, she's moving forward in her grieving journey, she met the new husband when the girl is 12 years old. So she just started with her menstruation when she's 11 years old. When the girl turns 15 years old, the mother decided to get married with this person. And that's when the issues of the girl started. She started having problems like PMS, irregular menstruation. So there was not any medical condition that will determine why the girl was having these issues. What happened in the circle in family constellation is that when the mother faces the deceased husband, the deceased husband is very sad because she remarried. But guess what? When they introduced the girl to that circle to see how the soul of the girl was feeling, the girl went with her father and they created a team looking bad and giving this look to the mother and the new husband. So she was teaming up with her deceased father. That's a loyalty. That's a hidden loyalty. And usually we do that unconsciously, and not only with our parents, because our parents they are one generation up above us. We can have a type of loyalty with 2, 3, 4 generations up above us, someone before us. So the loyalties are unconscious. The loyalties are because our soul sees that something happened in our family system and we want to repair it. We want to create balance. How do I know that I'm having a loyalty or a cycle? First, with the dates. If something starts occurring to you during the same dates, that's a cycle, right? Very close to my birthday or very close to Mother's Day, or this always happens during Christmas, like that's a cycle. The other thing is like when a person usually says all the time negative statements towards them. And this is something also connected to self-love, but it might be connected to a hidden loyalty or a hidden fidelity that is like, I can't, everything always goes wrong, everything because, and you can tell that is a loyalty because the person don't stop there. So for example, I don't know, let's say, well, this is not glass. Let's say that I have this and this is a glass, right? And I'm drinking something and I broke it. I spill it. I can say like, oh, everything goes wrong. But if I start saying like, always everything goes wrong because I remember when my mother got married and when my great grandmother and when my grandmother and the person who starts telling for something that happened that it might be bad or not positive, but they start going backwards and remembering those things, they have usually a hidden fidelity. Also, the person who feels very guilty for everything. Oh, this is my fault, everything is my fault. Yes, I should have. And the classic is the person saying, like, I shouldn't have been born, right? It was my fault that my parents got divorced or that my brother went into an accident, all those things. The person also is that the person that is always scared, but you can see that her own nature or his own nature is to be scared of everything. And the person who feels that there's no justice. So everything is injustice. Let's say there is a new president. Oh no, that's an injustice. They changed the light in this street. Oh no, why did they do it? This is horrible. It's injustice. Everything that is injustice or bad, it might be a hidden loyalty. I was telling you I want you to see these tarot cards that I'm using. So I have from this card, talking about this guy, that's card 0, that is the Fool, and the last one is the World, that is the 21. And this is again the Marseille's, and I hope that I'm pronouncing it correctly, Marseille's tarot deck. And I'm using now this one because it's gonna be easier. So the tarot cards, you don't have to be an expert to use the tarot cards to do this, to do a reading about psychogenealogy or family constellation, however you want to do it. So usually, for example, I have different characters in this, right? And we're gonna begin with the Fool. So this is my right side, and this is my left side, correct? So if I'm doing a reading, I'm gonna see if this one is looking to the left or is he looking to the right. He's looking towards the left. So in any tarot card, when you are doing this type of reading, that's called ancestral healing reading or psychogenealogy reading, however you want to call it, the character that is looking towards the left is looking towards the past. If someone is looking to the past, it's because someone is taking his attention and I cannot be fully focused in my present that is right in front of me. My future is right there. Okay? Then you can see, for example, that a person, let's say, this is going to be my client, but the client usually when they pull the card, they don't know who they are representing. They don't know. I just say like, we're going to begin the session. Okay, grab a card. But I just say like, this card is going to be the client. So the client comes with this card. This card already tells me a lot of things. Facing to the past, is the first card. This card is very connected to someone that does something that is not like the family system doesn't understand. This is the classic person, for example, that in your family system, they all got married to, for example, Black people, right? You always get married to a dark-skinned person. But all of a sudden, you got married with someone who has white skin. So you might be the Fool, right, for your family system because you're doing something that is different to the conscience, to the mentality, or to the pattern of that system. So that's another thing. But let's say that this is my client. So I already know my client. Every single client comes with a statement, with something that they think that is true for them, right? But if someone comes with this, I have a few options. So I usually will say like, okay, but I want to know who this person, is this person looking at, or what situation. So let's say sometimes I have a lot of decks, but I support with different decks. But let's say, so I say like, I want to see who's this person looking at. And let's say that it comes the Moon, right? The Moon will represent a grandmother, a female figure. A female figure that usually was very cold, that was absent, or that it wasn't even absent in the family system. Maybe she was a stay-at-home mom, so she was 24 hours in the house, but her soul wasn't present. Something happened that she couldn't be a mother or this caregiver 100%. So now I know that this client is looking to the grandmother or some female figure in the house that under his perspective was not available for him. But guess what? This person is always very afraid, right? He's very afraid all the time. He's like very cautious, but extremely careful of things because anything could go wrong. So now I start understanding, because if this person is looking towards the left and I know that a caregiver wasn't there, so my inner child, my soul, didn't have that protection, the nurture of my caregiver, of course I'm going to be still scared or afraid because I didn't have that foundation. So that's the way that we can do the reading. I'm going to tell you something else. For example, a person comes and says with another statement, and the person comes and says like, nothing that I do is right. I'm worthless. I shouldn't be living. So I can do a reading for this person, but also and I can see the pattern, right? Once you see the pattern, I see the pattern first as a practitioner, then I can propose some healing statements. So for this person, for example, I know that this person is connected to something else. So this is causing the persons to feel worthless because it's resonating. So always we have to be grateful. First, I might say whatever happened into your life was your fate and I accept it, right? To the person that I'm looking at or that my client is connecting to, and I accept your fate and you did the best that you could. I can also say I'm only your descendant, right? So I separate the two generations. I'm only your descendant. And from my position where I am, because I'm only your descendant, I'm gonna do the best that I can with my life, right? And usually I will suggest when there is a situation like this, it's also because the death, the person who died, right? The one that is the soul that my client is connecting to, I will say like this person is not resting properly. So I always say like if you find the full name, or you have a picture, you can light up a candle for this person. The person that always says, for example, I have to do something or it must to be done like this way, is usually when a person finds that in his system there was some type of not injustice, like slavery, right? So it was an authority position that it wasn't fair, right? So the person that is saying, like, we have to, it's my obligation, I have to do it. And you see the person that cannot even walk, doesn't have more time, but they want to keep doing it. That could be also a fidelity and a loyalty. And again, the same steps will be necessary, at least from my perspective. Thank you, because through you, to the person who was before me, right? Thank you, because through you, I receive life. I accept your fate. And I usually change or adjust some healing statements based on that particular situation and how the client is moving, right? How they are like expressing. But usually it will be that way. It will be those statements I think that are gonna be the ones that resonate the most. And those are gonna be the ones that are necessary also for the person that I'm connecting to. And how I know that this is working is because the person, my client, when I'm talking to them, I see them more relaxed, right? When I see them more relaxed, that means that that healing statement is working. That is, for example, when people has issues usually with money and they are very, very obvious, right? A person that has money, they usually lose their money in a cycle. I get a lot of money, but then it's gone, right? Or people that says this like, I get paid, but I don't see my money. So it could be a fidelity, but also could be a poverty contract with a soul. And again, you can see that, right? For example, let's say, not with a fool. Let's say imagine that I ask my client to pull a card for him or for her. And this person brings this card that is the hangman. The hangman is the main card in the deck that is gonna talk to you about balancing that is necessary to balance the family system, because you have the paternal family system and the maternal family system. But this person is stuck, right? Like if you see this person cannot move. So if this is my client, it's representing my client, and I was like, I know this person is stuck, is connected to the family system. And then I say like, okay, I'm going to read another card to see who created this pattern. Who was the person that created this pattern? And then my client pulled the Empress. So the Empress is the number 3. The Empress is a mother. The Empress could be when I'm doing a reading, could be a person that was involved in the relationship, but as a lover, not the official wife, right? And so then we start digging up more about this situation. But now I know that it was her, that they are connecting. My client is connecting with this story. So again, we do the same. We're going to do the same, and we are going to say thank you. And probably we are going to, well, previous to that, thank you, if it was the case that it was a third person in that relationship, in my parents' level or my grandparents or any other there, the father and the wife and the husband will need to acknowledge her existence, right? Acknowledge that this person was temporary or was for a long time in this as a third person in this relationship, and we say thank you, but not thank you because of you, my husband cheated on me. Is because somehow you extended the time that I was with my husband, because if he didn't find you, he could have broke up with me before. And this might be for another episode, because I know that it sounds like a little bit like, how are you gonna say thank you to the woman that because of her your husband cheated on you? But it's interesting to see that, because when a person is looking for someone else in a relationship, is because you didn't find with your current partner a partner. You found your mother or your father or the lost grandfather. You didn't find your partner, so you are still looking, searching for the partner. That's the issue. That's the pattern. So now, I'm gonna talk about how, if you have your tarot cards, you can use them and you can see the patterns that we were talking about. And I'm gonna tell you what they mean, each one. So, for example, this is the Loco. This is the Fool. And the Fool also represents, the Fool is scared of living. So I had a client that the mother got pregnant very early in life, right? And this client, every time that I see him, he is very with lack of vitality. You don't see any chi there. You see that he doesn't smile. He doesn't have a partner. He didn't have kids. He doesn't go out with his friends. He doesn't have any friends, and he's on his 50s. So that will be a good example of someone like this. If I have the magician is a number one. So usually we represent an inner child wound. Every time that you see the magician, at least for me, I will think about the inner child wound, right? But the magician, if you see, instead of looking to the left, is looking to the right, right? That's what is the inner child wound, because it's what happened in my present life. Something happened to me in my present life that is on my right side that I'm still connecting to. And this is a person that is very afraid of new things. Is very afraid of anything that he cannot control. Then we have the High Priestess, that is a number two. And again, she is looking towards this side, to the right side. And usually it's something that happened. She usually will represent a grandmother, but the High Priestess would represent also a mother that was very cold, that wasn't like hugging you all the time. But she's very afraid of death, and she carries a lot of secrets. So when we talk about secrets, usually this card will represent secrets in the family system as well. If I move to the Empress is afraid of giving birth and to have kids, even though this person might have a lot of kids, but she's afraid. Now she's looking towards the left. And why any person that is afraid to give birth, any person that says like, oh, I just didn't want to have kids, oh, I just didn't want to have children, I prefer to be single and live my life, well, they are always connecting to something to the past. There is a story in the past with a message of having children is not safe, or people die when they have a kid, or it's very hard for the woman to have kids. So they're always connecting to the past. And I'm not judging, I'm just telling you. The Emperor, he's looking to the right, and this is the father figure. And the Emperor is very doesn't like the authority. He wants to be the authority, but he doesn't like the authority. So he's afraid of everything that will make him basically kneel down. So I always have more power than someone else. The next one will be the High Priestess. No, the High Priest. The High Priest, he is scared of being punished. So anything that represents a punishment later in my life or now, right? And if you see this High Priest, he's looking almost like up, because he's connecting with something that happened in the past, and he could be scared of things like, if you go to a church and you said then the priest said like, oh, you are a sinner, God is gonna punish me, right? Something like that. The Lovers, this person is always scared, or in this family system they are always scared of don't get enough love, or to don't be loved, or to don't be able to love. The Chariot, this is the Chariot. He is this person or this family system is scared to being attacked or to get into accidents. The Justice is scared of traitors, right? I don't want to be into a conflict where I lose my money, or where I lose a case, or something that is not fair. The Hermit, this person is very scared of being lonely, or to feel lonely. So this person always will try to go everywhere everywhere this person goes, he wants to or she wants to be with someone. The Wheel of Fortune, they are very scared of poverty. It's not that they are materialistic, it's just that they want to always have enough. But they are always thinking, I want to have enough, I want to have enough. The strength, and they are afraid this system is scared of abuse. But basically, yes, it could be sexual abuse, but it's basically verbal abuse, an abuse that it's a mind abuse, right? That they put stuff on your mind, on you, like that you cannot control. The death card, they are afraid this system is scared of death, but they are also scared of illnesses. Oh no, I passed. I'm sorry. It's the hangman. The hangman, I told you, they are scared of moving, right? Like they are scared of. They also represent children that were miscarriage or abortions, but this person is scared of something new, of changes, of dark. The dark, right? I told you about the death card, and now we're gonna move to the temperance. That is this one. This one is scared to being attacked or to being followed when you have a stalker. So this is a family system that will represent a stalker, right? The devil will represent, they are scared of everything that is sexual, to being abused sexually, but also of places that are very close. The tower is scared of anything that happens in nature, like an earthquake, hurricane. The star, they don't want to lose stuff. They have already lost a lot of things, so they always want to keep. This is, for example, the classic of a hoarder, right? Or in the family system, when you have a hoarder, the star will represent a hoarder. The moon, they are scared of the ocean. So the family system, something happened in the ocean, they don't like it, they don't like the sand, and they don't like the nighttime either. The sun, they don't like, they are scared of having too many children, or to lose a child, or conflicts between siblings. The judgment, they are scared of anything that is paranormal, and basically they are scared of spirits, of something that is paranormal. And the war, they are scared of their environment. They don't trust in their environment. They are the classic person that say like, oh, I don't trust anyone. You cannot trust anyone. That will be represented by the war. Now, I want to talk about something else. When I'm doing a reading and I have three cards, I have either the devil card, the hangman, and the moon, and sometimes the high priestess. They will represent that there is a secret, something that hasn't been said, something that is prohibited to talk about in the family system. And that's an issue. That's a big issue, because I think that it's better to say stuff than to don't say them, because they are going to create an issue for one of the descendants, but it's not going to be an issue that is going to be little. It's going to be a big issue. So it's better to say the truth and to don't keep secrets in the family system. When someone comes with the death card, and next to the death card it comes with a father or mother figure, we think that will represent that the consultant, the person that is doing the reading, doesn't want to have unconsciously his father or his mother with him. And that could be also connected to sexual abuse from one of them. Not all the time, but I'm just telling you because you have to read more than this. Then the Justice is a very interesting card if it comes next to the death card, because that will let you know that the first step for this person will be to forgive his parents, to forgive his parents because they didn't pay attention to him enough, and something happened to him that he's still carrying with that wound. And you have to forgive your parents because your parents are the ones to take care of you and protect you. And if something happened to you under the age of 21, is basically somehow their fault. And your subconscious knows that. Maybe you can have a good relationship with your parents, but you are still wondering why they weren't there, why you weren't available for me, why you didn't protect me. So this is another case. This is another scenario with the cards that you can use as well. Now, if a person comes and tells me, look, I don't have any success on my business. Okay. The person who doesn't have any success on their business usually has a poverty contract or has a hidden loyalty. And again, we can use the tarot cards to find what's going on, right? And what I usually do is I create I sometimes like I build the family tree to see where this issue with the business is coming. So I recreate and I put one card for my client, one for the mother, one for the father, and then the grandparents. By the time that you get to the grandparents, you will have the pictures. You will understand where was the issue, and you can go up above to the great grandparents. That's why I mix my tarot decks, because I have the same cards, but they can repeat them. Right now, it's very interesting to see when I talk about family constellations, that is ancestral healing, psychogenealogy, astrogenealogy, however you want to call it, is that we try to separate things. And if you have a tree, you know that that tree has a soul. You know, if you have a plant in your house, you know that that plant has its own soul, right? Its own energy. So if I have a rosemary, I'm not saying like, oh, this piece of my rosemary is not, it doesn't belong, or the other piece doesn't belong. Because even the leaves or the pieces of a plant that are falling, or of a tree, a leaf, if a leaf falls, the leaf has an existence there. There is an energy that was there that belonged to that leaf or to that piece of the plant. It's not visually, you cannot see it, but the essence, the energy is still there. And that's what happens with our family system. You have to understand the family system as a whole soul. It's just one, and all the people living there are part of this soul. And if you have a leaf or someone in the system that you don't talk about, that is hard to tell the story, that makes people cry, or that makes people furious, or that makes people get out of a calm state of mind, there is an issue there that you need to figure it out. You don't have to figure it out for them. You have to figure it out for you, so you don't resonate with that story anymore. Especially if you know that that might be the issue that is causing you the present problems that you have now. So that's the way I'll do it. And of course, when I'm doing a reading, let's say I have a situation, and then I use another tarot deck and say like, okay, but what is really happening? What is that? How they are connecting, right? Because maybe I want to know more. So I imagine that it comes with this, a five, a son and a mom clinging to the past. It's a five. It's a five. Those are issues. So you can go deeper, and you can get healing while doing an ancestral healing reading with the tarot cards. So the fidelity or the loyalty in a system can be expressed. You can see, oh, this person falls every let's say November 11th, or something happened here, or something like visually you can see it. But it could be also unconsciously, right? Because a classic person that say like, oh, everyone in my family has diabetes, or everyone in my family I don't know, move to the same country from here to here. So those you can see, those are loyalties. I follow you because since the system has its own soul, when an individual that is one of the leaves of this tree wants to do things different, the system the system will say like, do everything different because you're going to change everything that we've been doing the last 2000 years. It doesn't like it, but it's necessary sometimes. And well, this is what I wanted to talk to you about today. And you can go to my website, ayamama.org. You can find my candles. I have new beginnings, inner child healing, ancestor support, and liberation. I have also letting go. Those are organic soy candles with no fragrances or essential oils or any smells. And also you can go to my Instagram, that is Alida, and or to my YouTube channel to find more videos. Thank you.